Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to day 10 of the 31 Days of Horror. DBougie86 here again. Now, the film I got for you guys today is, of course, released by Tartan Agent Extreme. If you know, Tartan Agent Extreme is a line that I really enjoy collecting. Of course, I'm a big fan of Asian cinema. Love it. It's my Asian persuasion of this 31 Days of Horror. One of many, I'm not sure yet. But this one seemed interesting to me. It was actually recommended to me by my homeboy Brandon, if you follow Exploding Heads, and he was part of the late upbringing of Cinema Attack. So this is one that he told me about and said it was a cool film and stuff, so I wanted to check it out. And that, of course, is titled The Booth. Yes. Pretty much the main plot of this one, we're introduced to our main character, Shingo, who's this late night disc jockey who runs this love rock music channel where he talks about relationships and stuff. And when we first meet him, he's kind of a arrogant, all into himself type of dude. And we find out they're actually remodeling and gonna be moving into a new studio soon. So this is a one night deal where they're actually going to be recording in this old abandoned studio in the basement of the building. And this studio number 6 actually has a dark history to it, because the former disc jockey of the studio actually hung himself inside the booth, the recording booth. Now, what ends up happening is the show starts going on. We get introduced to Shingo as a character and his interaction with his callers, and he gets interference with one of his calls, and there's a faint voice that says liar, and some weird noises start happening, and they brush it off as a disturbance in frequencies, and then they get another caller, and then the same thing happens again. So there's this supernatural thing happening where Shingo either thinks maybe this curse recording booth is real, or somebody's trying to find out something about his past and using it against him. That's pretty much the main plot without going too crazy into it. Now, my thoughts on this film. Very cool, contained horror slash thriller style. It's more in the thriller aspect than legit horror, with a psychosis of our main character of Shingo. And I gotta say, the actor who portrays him does a phenomenal job in this role. It's a interesting role to take, especially with the way his character bounces off throughout the film. And he's pretty much in this booth through the whole film. There's a few instances where we get outside of this area where we see flashback scenes of certain aspects of Shingo's life and things that happened in his life, without going too crazy into it, because it kind of spoils the plot if I go way into the flashback stuff. But the rest of the characters are very interesting and quirky in their own ways, his recording staff, and the one guy that's in the booth with him covers his mouth, but we find out there's a reason for that too later on in the film. He's just an odd talking with his mouth over his hand over his mouth like this. But we find out more about his character too, and it actually plays into the psychosis of Shingo's character also. Nothing really much about scares. This one's more about a psychological thriller type deal, where we go into the psychosis of this main character's mind as he's doing this live talk radio show through one night. And it's just a very interesting aspect of a film. And even though like that being said, it is kind of a slow burner, this film only runs 74 minutes, so it's a quick watch. It's nothing too overdrawn. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a film that has some gripping moments, especially with the stuff that happens inside the recording booth, and the stuff that happens with the supernatural angle that they use in this. And I gotta say, they kind of threw me through a left guard in this film, because They made you want to believe one thing, and then it turns into a totally different thing at the very end of the film, which I thought was really cool that they did that. It wasn't like your typical like spoon-fed story of like a supernatural like talk radio booth, pretty much. So I did enjoy that aspect of it. And the film looked great. The aesthetic and like the cinematography of this film looked great, especially in like the beginning sequence where we see like the history, a little more of the history of like this Studio 6, and it has some like crisp, like grainy, like black and white imagery with like some color added into it, which really sets the tone of like the darkness that's to follow in the rest of the film. So yeah, very solid film. If I had to rate the booth, it's getting a solid 7.5 out of 10. Very solid watches this year for the 31 days, guys. And this one's no exception. I highly recommend this film. Quick watch, really fun stuff. Alright guys, this is for day 10. I'll be back tomorrow with day 11. I don't know what I'm going to review yet, so I'll see you soon. Peace out.